District of New Caesarea is now in session. The Honorable Judge Linda Windling is presiding. Your case is Mia Donovan versus Shannon Dempsey, Jordan Reddick, and Rubicon Soccer Club.
I'm going to have my team introduce you. Right here. All right, if I may have my plaintiff's team introduce themselves, and then we'll have the defense team introduce themselves by your name and then your representing your witness. Helpful?
Counsel is Divya Junasia and Jeffrey Bell. And playing Jordan Reddick will be David John. Playing Shannon Dempsey will be Madeline Isako. And playing Chris Durant will be Jimmy Sims.
All right, I am going to need my bailiff to do a bulk swearing in for this.
Witnesses, please stand and raise your right hand. Do you promise the testimony you are about to give will faithfully and truthfully conform to the facts and rules of the mock trial competition? You may return to your seats.
Thank you. Without further ado, we'll start.
Your Honor, once again, I'm Jessica Woods, and plaintiff calls Casey Donovan to the stand.
Oh, statements.
Your Honor, I would like to ask permission at this time for the bailiff to move to the jury box so I can keep that.
Absolutely.
And also, I would like permission to move out.
Absolutely.
On December 2nd, 2011, Mia Donovan was removed from the soccer tournament in New Caesarea unconscious and transported via ambulance to the hospital. As her father hovered anxiously above her, waiting for her to wake up, he had no idea of the severity of the injury that his body had suffered. And he had no idea that months later she would still be suffering from the effects of that injury. And Mr. Donovan was only just beginning to realize the injury that caused Dawn might have been avoided. Hello, my name is Carson Smith, and along with co-counsel Jessica Woods and Tucker Daniel, I'm honored to represent the plaintiff Mia Donovan and her father Casey Donovan in today's case. Today, you, the jury, will hear the facts of this case, and you, the jury, will decide whether or not to find the defendant Shannon Dempsey, Jordan Reddick, and the soccer club guilty of negligence. We, as the plaintiff, have the honor of bringing this charge to you. To prove the charge of negligence, we must demonstrate the existence of three separate elements: duty, breach of duty, and causation. Duty is defined as what one party owes another. Every person has a duty to use common sense to protect other people, especially minors. Today, we will prove that Rubicon Soccer Club had a duty to its players, including the Donovan. Breach of duty is simply a person's failure to use ordinary care and common sense to protect other people. Today, we will prove that Rubicon failed in its duty to Mia Donovan. Causation is closely related to this duty. We must not only prove that Rubicon failed in its duty to Ms. Donovan, but we must also prove that it was one of the main factors or a large factor in Ms. Donovan's injury, which we will do today. We intend to prove these elements by calling three witnesses and through their testimony. Casey Donovan, Mia Donovan's widowed father; Raleigh, Ms. Donovan's high school coach; and Dr. Bevan Register, who has obtained a PhD in the area of sports-related concussions. Casey Donovan will narrate this case for us today. He will tell you Ms. Donovan's love of soccer and her participation in Rubicon Soccer Club, establishing their duty to ensure her safety and to the best of their ability properly supervise her. He will tell you of Ms. Donovan's prior injuries and of what he observed at that game on December 2nd, 2011, when Ms. Donovan received 2 separate blows to the head. He will tell you of the continuing severe effects of those injuries and their effect tell you that he informed the Rubicon Soccer Club in writing of his findings prior to confessions, and that he later found that those findings were ignored. Tobin O'Reilly will attribute to his defining ordinary care. She will describe the materials available to coaches and the protocols available to organizations like Rubicon at the time of Ms. Donovan's injury. And highlighting her own approach, as well as the state-required protocols, Tobin O'Reilly will further accent the Rubicon's rigidity. Tobin O'Reilly will contribute to the causation of today's case. She will describe the effects of Ms. Donovan's injury, which she found in her examination of Ms. Donovan. She will describe what can happen with using her background in sports-related medicine when a player with a concussion is allowed to play again despite the risk to their health. She will paint a clear picture of the effects of such an action, which we will see today in Ms. Donovan. She will show the causation behind this injury, second blow to the head that still haunts Ms. Donovan today. Ms. Donovan's family has already suffered a tragedy, one that easily could have been avoided, and one that should have been avoided. Today we ask that you, the jury, consider the facts of this case, so that you, the jury, can find a reasonable verdict. We ask that you will find defendant Shin, Jordan Reddick, and Rubicon Soccer Club guilty of negligence. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Counselor. Absolutely.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, opposing counsel. Thank you, Judge. Mia Donovan was an elite soccer player, played for her school team, played for the Courthouse Soccer Club. And in May, she had her whole future resting on her soccer career. And in May 2011, she received a concussion while playing on her school team. And she was taken to the doctor. However, her mother, Casey Donovan, failed to take her for a follow-up visit and left the door open for future injuries. And then when Mia Donovan applied to the Rubicon Soccer Club, they only scribbled a note on her application about her concussive history, further leaving the door open for future concussive events. And then when Mia hit her head during practice, she failed to tell any responsible adult that she'd been injured, and once again left the door open for further concussive events. And then the evidence will show that Mia Donovan was aware she had a concussion, but neglected to tell anybody. And then in the college showcase tournament, Mia Donovan hit her head for the final time and received a concussion because of her own neck. How was Shannon Dempsey expected to know that Mia Donovan was hurt? She can't know what she got told.
Casey Donovan.
What's your relationship to Mia Donovan?
She's my daughter. I'm her only parent. My wife died 8 years ago in a tragic car accident.
What kind of interest does your daughter hold?
Ever since my wife died, I brought her to different clubs and stuff, trying to find something for her to do to keep her mind off of it. That's where she picked up the game of soccer. She's loved it ever since. She's been a huge fan of the game. Mia Hamm is her idol. So.
Has Mia ever been injured in participating in soccer events?
Yeah, she's had 3 main injuries.
When did your daughter receive her first injury?
It was in a game that I was attending in May of 2011. She and a defender on the other team both went out for a header at the same time, and that's when she was receiving injury.
What did Coach O'Reilly do?
Coach O'Reilly immediately pulled her out of the game and won't even let her go back in. So, yeah.
Can you please describe your daughter's behavior immediately after this incident?
She was slow to get up. She seemed quite woozy for the rest We took it to the doctor the next day, and it seemed like she had been, most of the symptoms had gone away. The doctor there diagnosed her with a mild concussion. And also
Objection,
recommended.
Your Honor.
Under rule,
That's not for you to answer.
okay.
Your Honor, under Rule 803-4, it is permissible for medical diagnosis or treatment.
Follow up on that.
There has been no foundation laid to say that Mia has a concussion. No doctor has been able to say that she cannot be able.
Was there in the, anywhere in the depositions, support that this can be, having a diagnosis of concussion?
Yes, I was about to approach you and the opposing counsel with Exhibit 1.
Okay, you may approach. And this is the first concussion that we're referring to in Coach O'Reilly.
Yes, sir.
I will allow him testimony.
Are you familiar with this exhibit?
Yes, it's the ACE test that the doctor gave me following her first concussion.
I want to direct you to the doctor's signature.
Yes, it's Dr. Miller's signature. Dr. Miller's signature.
This is the signature. Is this the signature that says that you have a concussion?
Yes.
Oh, no, I presume to enter Exhibit 1 with evidence at this time. Did your daughter's injury heal?
Yes, it did.
How are you familiar with the Rubicon Soccer Club?
After her first injury, Mia joined Rubicon Soccer Club, and that's where she happened to suffer the second and third injuries.
Did you ever inform Rubicon Soccer Club of your daughter's first concussion?
Yes, including all the paperwork I had to fill out to join it. For Mia to join, there was a medical waiver, and I listed under unusual health information that she had had a previous concussion with the school team.
Your Honor, permission to approach witness and opposing counsel with Exhibit 5. How are you familiar with this exhibit?
This is the medical waiver that I had to fill out to let Mia join the Rubicon Soccer Club's team.
What did you write?
I wrote that she had a mild concussion in May of 2011 on the school team, with the school team. I gave it to my soccer club.
Will you please describe the circumstances surrounding your daughter's second injury?
Second injury, all that I know is that in a practice on the Monday, that being November 28th, prior to the Rubicon Showcase game, she had suffered a blow to the head during practice.
How did you find out about this injury?
I didn't find out until we were in the emergency room following the third concussion.
Even though you were not aware of this injury at the time, were you able to observe your daughter's behavior during the week prior to the college showcase tournament?
I had a lot of work that week, so I wasn't able to see her much, but when I did see her, she was sleeping more than usual and seemed a bit stressed.
Will you please describe your daughter's third injury?
Third injury, it was a Rubicon Showcase game. During the first half, she suffered a elbow to the head, and after that, she seemed a bit out of it, but she didn't get pulled out. After halftime, she was tackled by a defender and hit the ground hard. She was knocked unconscious. Athletic trainer, field marshal, Shannon Dempsey and I all ran on the field. Eventually, an ambulance had to come to the emergency room.
What, if any, medical treatment did your daughter receive after this incident?
The emergency room, she was diagnosed with another concussion.
Josh, may I have your say? Again, under Rule 803-4, it is permissible for medical treatment.
And is there
describe your daughter's behavior after being possibly being diagnosed with this concussion?
After the
Conjecture or speculation?
Also, Stan, can you rephrase, please?
Will you please describe your daughter's behavior after this incident?
following the third injury, she complained of severe migraines for quite a while. Even till now, she still has a sensitivity to light and sound, and she can't attend school. She can only take one online class. She still has nausea, dizziness, even till today.
Has your daughter ever demonstrated these types of symptoms before?
Never so severely.
Any other questions, Sean? You got her first concussion in May of 2011, correct?
Yes, she did.
After this concussion, you took her to Dr. Muller, correct?
Yes.
And Dr. Muller recommended a follow-up visit?
Yes, he did.
And did you take her to the follow-up visit?
No, but it seemed that most of her symptoms had healed.
You know her?
I'm going to allow him to complete his sentence.
No, she seemed like most of all the symptoms had healed, and we had a root canal game coming up, or tryouts coming up.
Now, the week before the college showcase tournament, you did not seem like you were yourself, correct?
No, she didn't.
Was you distressed?
Yes, she did seem so.
And did you look more tired than usual?
Yes, she did.
And did you make any effort to get these symptoms checked out by a doctor?
No, I did not. I just figured because she had a bunch of tests that week.
Okay. Before the tournament, you never did find out why he was acting differently, did you?
No, I didn't.
During the first game of the tournament, you got hit in the head by another player's elbow, correct?
Yes, she did.
Did you notice that you looked slightly out of it?
I did.
And you could tell Coach Dempsey how she was feeling, correct?
I believe she did.
Mia knew she had a concussion, correct?
I think she did.
Okay, and you didn't, however, she didn't tell you that she had a concussion, did she?
No, not until after the third.
Your Honor, I have a request.
Yes.
If the witness could sit here, I have some trouble, I'm having some trouble hearing the witness, and also I can't see the witness.
As long as it's okay with you, let's do a little flip. You all can see the bailiff from that side, correct? I was like, wait a minute, just good like that. I used to be behind, see? Please, please proceed.
Please state your name for the court's records. Tobin Riley. What's your occupation? I teach PE, sports medicine, and health at Raleigh High School in New Caesarea. And I also coach the women girls varsity and JV soccer teams. You know Mia Donovan? Yes. She played on the varsity soccer team this past season and won before that. In your experience as a high school coach, have you ever had occasion to study concussions? Yes. Can you please describe the work of this about? In 2008, I heard about two high school football players who died after second units of the
Objection, Chair Sexton.
Your Honor, this is stated in the witness affidavit.
I'm going to allow the narration of her own research into the subject.
And because I know that because of that, it's going to Do you recognize this? Yes. What is it? It's the CDC footwear certified assessment. Your Honor, I ask that this exhibit be introduced by evidence this time. When did this footwear sticker become available?
The summer of 2010.
After the game, did you take any other steps to ensure this on itself?
Yes, after the game, after the celebration was over, after winning, I talked to Mia and her father about going to see a doctor to make sure that she didn't have a concussion, and if she did, to get that checked out.
Where did you get this procedure from?
The action plan that is on this footwear sticker.
By November of 2011, did you have any reason to believe Ms. Hoffman was still suffering from this?
No, not at all. She never complained about anything. She was fine whenever I saw her.
No, I have no further questions.
Sergeant Cross. Yes, sir. Mrs. O'Reilly, you would consider yourself an effective coach, correct?
Yes.
And would you agree that if a coach is effective, his or her players will listen to their coach?
Yes, it depends on the student, but they should.
And therefore, since you, Mrs. O'Reilly, are an effective coach, your players listen to you, correct?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Reilly, you became concerned about concussions after hearing about one news, correct?
Yes.
And you also knew some people who have experienced concussions, correct?
Yes.
And it goes up saying that you believe, that you believe concussions are serious and important issues, correct?
Yes.
And because of this belief, you decided to implement the CDC's recommendations for coaches concerning concussions, correct?
Yes.
Is it true that the CDC recommends that players who believe they may have a concussion tell a doctor, coach, family member, or loved one?
Yes.
Your Honor, may I approach the bench with what has been marked as Exhibit 6? Let the record reflect I am showing the opposing counsel a copy of the exhibit. Do you recognize this exhibit to be a copy of the athletic fact sheet that you sent home with all of your student athletes and parents?
Yes.
Is this a fair and accurate representation?
Yes.
Your Honor, permission to enter Exhibit 6 into evidence. Does this document tell what a concussion is?
Yes.
Does this document tell the symptoms of concussion?
Yes.
Does this document tell what one should do if they believe they have a concussion?
Yes.
Does this document tell how to prevent a concussion?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Reilly, may I direct your attention to the highlighted section at the bottom of the page?
Yes.
May I approach the bench?
Yes.
Would you please read along silently as I read aloud this section right here? If you think you have a concussion, don't hide it. Report it. Take time to recover. Did Mia Donovan receive a copy of this document?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
I'd like to call Dr. Bevan Street to the stand. Please state your name for the record. Dr. Register, tell us about your background, educational background in sports medicine.
I earned my bachelor's in athletic training at the University of New Caesarea. I earned my master's in exercise physiology and athletic training at the University of New Caesarea. And I earned my PhD in sports medicine at the University of Virginia.
Will you please tell us about your employment background in the field of sports medicine?
Currently, I'm the director director of the Gaylor Sport-Related Concussion Research Center in Palatine Hill, New Caesarea. And I'm also a Haley Marshall Distinguished Professor at the University of New Caesarea, where I'm department chair of the Department of Exercise and Sports Science.
Have you published any writing on the subject of concussions?
I have. I've published over 200 peer-reviewed journal articles, a few of which are incidents and outcomes of soccer-related concussions, pediatric sport-related concussion management of sport-related advances in sport-related concussion management. And I've also published over 10 textbook chapters, one being head injuries in Foundations of Clinical Sports Medicine and management of sport-related concussion in emergency in sports and athletic training.
Your Honor, at this time, I tender Dr. Bevan Register as an expert in the field of sports medicine as pertaining to head injuries.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. What causes concussion?
A concussion is caused by a lower jolt of head.
What are the symptoms of concussion?
Symptoms can include headache, nausea, vomiting, blurry vision, confusion, difficulties concentrating and remembering, not being able to process information, difficulty sleeping.
How long do these symptoms generally last?
Usually concussion symptoms disappear within 2 weeks.
What, if any, impact does concussion have on a player's susceptibility of suffering an injury?
After your first concussion, you're 4 to 6 times more likely to suffer a second.
What, if any, impact does concussion have on a person's ability to make reasonable decisions?
An athlete with a concussion that received a concussion in a game might try to tough it out and keep playing, or if they've already been pulled out of the game, they might beg their coach to be put back in. The confusion and mood swings can make a young athlete do things they wouldn't normally do in a game.
What kind of treatments do you recommend for an athlete who suffered a concussion?
Rest is the best remedy for concussions. Rest from school, work, and sports.
What, if any, recommendations have you made to coaches and other adults who are charged with supervising young athletes along the lines of the concussion care?
Any organization that is responsible for youth athletes needs to ask incoming players about their past history of concussions and monitor them, especially. They also need to educate their coaches, coaches, parents, and athletes about the dangers of concussions.
What are the proper steps to be taken after a hit during the soccer game?
A player needs to be immediately removed from play and have to sit out the rest of the game until they can be evaluated by a healthcare professional.
Did you examine Mia Donovan?
I did,
When?
February 2012.
Will you describe for us what you observed?
Mia showed difficulties with remembering and processing information. She reported mood swings, feelings of depression, and sleepiness. She also showed poor balance and sensitivity to light and noise.
How did you obtain these observations?
I evaluated her by many different tests.
Were you able to form an opinion as to the cause of Ms. Donovan's condition?
Yes,
What are these opinions?
I believe that it's very likely that Mia suffered one concussive event on November 28th and 2 concussive events on December 2nd, 2011.
Have you formed any opinions about how long Ms. Donovan will continue to experience the kinds of problems you observed during these examinations?
Given the seriousness of her conditions, even a year after her injuries, it is strongly likely that she will continue to suffer physical and cognitive problems for the rest of her life.
Thank you, Your Honor. No further questions.
You experienced primarily in the field of concussions, correct?
Yes.
And for nearly 20 years, your research has focused on the diagnosis of significantly more about concussions than a soccer coach would, correct?
Yes.
And as an expert, you can more easily identify a concussion than a soccer coach could, correct?
Yes.
Some symptoms for concussions include headaches, dizziness, and confusion, correct?
Yes.
These symptoms aren't specific to just concussion, correct?
Yes.
These symptoms can even be symptoms for something such as common hydration, correct?
Yes.
Concussions can be easily confused with other injuries such as dehydration, correct?
Yes.
And you said we can never make athletes 100% safe, correct?
Yes.
And you also said all sports carry some degree of risk, correct?
Yes, they do.
So if a player has their symptoms, can a coach easily protect them from concussion?
Not easily, no.
You said you are a personal crusade to raise awareness on concussions, correct?
Yes.
So you think people, including soccer clubs, aren't aware enough about the situation with concussions?
Objection calls for lack of personal knowledge.
Question.
So you think that people, including soccer clubs, are aware of the problems associated with concussions?
Your objection is?
Lack of personal knowledge.
Well, I'm asking if she thinks they know enough about concussions, and she said she is an expert in concussions.
I'm going to tell the answer. She's an expert.
And this is what sent you on your personal crusade, correct?
Yes.
No further questions, Rob?
Defense, I'd like to call Jordan Reddick to stand. Could you please introduce yourself to the court?
Good morning, my name is Jordan Reddick. I'm 39 years old. I'm the director of Rubicon Soccer Club.
Jordan, could you please describe your soccer experience?
Yeah. So I was lucky enough to play in high school, and I was quite good in high school. And I was offered a scholarship to Julian College playing center defender. I went to Julian College for 4 years and also got a degree in sports administration. Then I was fortunate enough to go play professionally in the league and for the team Utopia United. Soon after, I returned to New Syria and played and became the director of Triad Soccer Club. Years later, I moved on to Rubicon Soccer and was offered the position of director, and I took that.
Why did you take the position at Rubicon?
Rubicon was the new kid on the block. I saw so much potential in them, and I really thought they could do big things, and I wanted this challenge. I wanted to show that I could take on this responsibility as director of Rubicon and help those players succeed to the best of their ability.
How do you feel you have achieved these goals and made the club more successful?
So right now, we're the third largest club in the state, which is huge. We have over 2,000 players in our rec and classic teams combined, along with our challenge. And our teams are just excelling in the tournaments.
Could you explain some more specifics on your team at Rubicon?
Yeah, sure. So we have 20 classic teams, which is great. A lot of our teams are at the top in the state. And of those 20 teams, 8 of the teams are the premier, which shows how well Rubicon has done.
What kind of standards did you set for the coaches at Rubicon?
So first, I require all my coaches to have a D-level coaching, national coaching merit, with A being the highest. I want our coaches to know how to coach and how to coach the game of soccer. I also required all the coaches to play soccer in college, in either professionally if they've had the chance to. I want our coaches to have two things, to know how to coach soccer and know how to play soccer.
Why are fees for the Rubicon Club so expensive?
There's a lot of things that go into the fees. First, there's uniforms. The clubs usually have 3 or more uniforms because of home and away, and they have different practice jerseys as well. Also, the tournaments can get expensive. The tournaments, you have to pay for the home, you have to pay for the hotel fee, then you have to pay for the tournament to get in. And also, I want to make sure our coaches are paid adequately. Those coaches, they take their time and they take a lot of pride in what they do. I want to make sure they have no distractions in helping the players do the best of their ability.
How has health been promoted to athletes in your club?
We
partnership with the Julian College Medicine Department. A lot of their students come over and help our players out. Going in college, I've had a lot of coaches that were actually health freaks. They actually, a lot of them promoted water. They said, stay hydrated, keep rest, and I wanted to pass this on to my players. On our club website, we have a lot about staying hydrated and how rest is key before and after games.
Could you explain what an ACL is?
So the ACL is the anterior cruciate ligament. So the ACL is in the knee and allows the knee to bend. In soccer, this injury is most prominent and seen so much, where the ACL, because if a player plants his foot wrong, it's easy to tear that ACL, and a lot of times we see the ACL torn in the game.
If the ACL is such a huge injury in soccer, what kinds of things did you do to raise awareness on it?
I'm proud to announce we have the ACL Injury Prevention Project. Our club has done a great job with that. What it is a partnership with Julian College Medicine Department again, and we get students over there to come help our teams and show how these, like, you can avoid the ACL actually a lot, because as these players fall, you can help them show how to fall right. It sounds a little funny, but these players can fall in weird ways. But if they fall in the proper way, they can actually prevent a lot of ACL. So we have coaches come over and show how to fall right. And then we have just coaches come over and talk about how you can keep your safe during the game.
Why did you focus so much on ACL injuries and not on concussion?
The ACL is just so prominent in the game of soccer. We see it so much. Likewise, unlike concussions, I remember I saw a guy. It was, I believe, 8 out of 10,000 of people have concussions each. 8 out of 10,000.
This was in
And testifying as to his personal knowledge of the numbers, so I'm going to hold.
Yeah, there's a study from Ohio State. It said 8 out of 10,000 girls each year only in the country have concussions, which is a very low number. Likewise to ACLs, which is so high and seen so much throughout the game.
When Mia was injured in that college showcase game, do you think you could have done more to prevent it?
I don't think I could have done more. It was just tough. I was in a tough position. I was at the game. I was watching Mia when she got hurt. It was a terrible incident what happened, but it's just hard to prevent stuff like this. When you join the game of soccer, you have to know that there's risk. Risk is always involved. In any of the sports today we see, risk is always involved. And when you join sports and you become an athlete, you should know that. There's also that responsibility on Mia to know that she's been hurt previously and that she should get the proper rest needed, which all our players should know.
What is most important to you about your club?
I want our club players to learn the game of soccer to the best of their ability. Winning does help, but just helping these players grow in the game and the knowledge of the game is the best they can do, and their safety matters so much.
No further questions. Since the game of December 2nd, 2011, you have since learned that at some point Mia Donovan suffered severe concussion.
Yes, I have.
And you also, at times, you've researched common injuries in soccer, correct?
Yes, I have.
And you've also implemented programs based on that research, correct?
Yes, I have.
Including the ACL prevention project, yes?
Yes, I have.
So, are you aware of the USYS, or the Youth Soccer, United States Youth Soccer Association?
Yeah, I've seen that leak before.
So, you were aware then that the USYS, which you do use for your research, has posted concussion protocols?
On that, I remember I went onto the USYS site, and concussions weren't seen on the site. It's not obvious when you go onto the site, you see ACL, because soccer is an ACL sport. Concussion was a small leak, and it's hard to find. And more information was posted to concussions a little too late after Mia's injury, which is sad.
But when you went on the USYS site, they did have information posted about concussions that you found when you searched for it.
After I searched for a while, I did find some information on concussions.
And this information was published in August of 2011, correct?
I believe so.
And have you not stated that you were familiar with this protocol?
I did not say this.
You stated you were familiar with the protocol 12, which is the USYS concussion protocol.
I haven't seen exhibit 12.
Now, our permission to approach the witness for exhibit 12. recognize this exhibit now.
Yes, yes.
Step 5 of this exhibit states that, which you have stated that you're familiar with, says that a player diagnosed with a possible concussion should not return to play until they have been cleared by a medical professional, correct?
Yeah.
And step 6 states that if there is a possibility of concussion, the team should definitely not be allowed to participate in any athletic activity until that's
That's what it's the player's responsibility to let the team know that she has suffered a concussion and that she should get the rest. It's the player's responsibility to know what she's been through and that she should get the rest responsible.
And as director of Rubicon Soccer Club, is it not your responsibility to establish protocols that your coaches can use to protect their players?
Yes, it is.
Any other questions, Your Honor?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I'd like to call Shane to proceed to the Could you please introduce yourself to the court?
Hi, I'm Shannon Dempsey, and I'm a soccer coach at Rubicon Soccer Club.
What qualifies you to coach?
Well, I went to Juilliard College on a full soccer scholarship, and I even got asked to coach, but I said no. And I also have my national D license for coaching.
Have you coached any teams before?
Yes, I've coached classic and premier teams.
How did you become me as coach?
Well, Mia's coach, his father, was diagnosed with cancer, and she rushed off to take care of him. So I stepped in because Jordan really asked me to.
Did you pick the girls for the team yourself?
No, they were already picked by me as coach.
Did you have any paperwork that the team had to fill out?
Yes, they were filled out and given to the team manager.
Were you informed about Mia's previous concussion?
No, I thought the team manager would tell me if there were any really prominent injuries the girls had suffered.
Did you have any big games coming up with the team?
Yes, we had a showcase tournament on the weekend of December 2nd.
Did anything happen to any players during the practice of the tournament?
Well, Mia had tripped and fallen, but she seemed a little dizzy and she seemed a little stressed out. I assumed it was tests at school.
What did you think had happened when Mia hit her head during practice?
I think that she just got a little shaken by being a little dizzy. She got up and seemed to shake it off.
How long did Mia sit out after she bumped her head during practice?
Well, I decided to sub Mia, or just to let her sit out for the rest of practice. 10 minutes. She seemed to go home fine with that.
How was Mia's performance in the college showcase?
Well, she seemed a little off of her game. I thought it was stress of tests the week before. And then she fell down in the first half of one of the games. And I subbed her out, and she seemed fine.
How did she play after you subbed her out?
Well, she seemed more on her game, and she opened, and then half the game.
How did the rest of the game go for Mia?
Well, the second half, we almost had a goal, but the goalie made a great save. 10 minutes later, however, a defender hit her, she went down, and she did not get back up.
How did you react to this?
Well, I ran onto the field saying, I'm so sorry to Mia's father. I knew that Mia was a little off, but she seemed like she could handle it.
Did you check up on her later?
Yes, I called Mia's father, and he had told me that she was at the hospital, stayed overnight, and was diagnosed with a concussion, and she might have long-lasting problems.
How prominent are concussions in the soccer community?
Well, I thought that concussions were more of just a football thing. Soccer is normally ACL injuries.
Was Mia's concussion mentioned on the form from auto fill-out?
Yes, it was on the floor, but I thought the team manager would tell me, or Mia would even tell me, if there were any serious injuries like a concussion. I don't know what I would have really done differently. I would have watched her a little bit more closely, but Mia did have the responsibility to know. I don't know what I'm not told.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Before you can start coaching for the Rubicon Soccer Club, isn't it true that you were required to obtain a national B-level license from the United States Soccer Federation, otherwise known as the USSF?
Yes, Jordan Reddick required.
And in order to obtain this license, you were required to attend a class session which covered common types of injuries and suffered, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
even though your USSF course touched on the issue of concussions, you did not do anything to educate your team members about concussions. Isn't this correct?
Well, as I told you, they went onto the website, concussions are available to look up.
Isn't it correct that as a coach of the Rubicon team, you are permitted to have access to the medical consent forms Rubicon keeps for each of your players?
Yes.
In fact, you were authorized to access the medical release that Ms. Donovan's father gave to Rubicon. Isn't this correct?
Yes, that is correct. I thought it was more for insurance information.
Even though you were authorized to review this form, you chose not to do so until after Ms. Donovan was injured. Correct?
Yes, I thought that they would tell me if there were any really common injuries.
And when you did choose to review Ms. Donovan's form, you saw that she had suffered a previous concussion in May 2011.
Yes, that is correct.
Ms. Donovan tripped, fell, and hit her head during practice Monday, November 28, 2011. Did she not?
Yes, that is correct. I subbed her out afterwards.
Is it true you pulled me out of practice to evaluate her physical and mental health?
Yes, that is true.
And isn't it true that you noticed that Ms. Donovan was slow to get up off the ground from the fall?
Yes, that is true. She seemed a little dizzy afterwards. She seemed to shake it off over my head.
Is it correct that she was confused?
Yes, it was. She was a little dazed, but she shook it off. She's an athlete.
Ms. Donovan told you she was dizzy, did she not?
Yes, she did. She seemed to have water. She was fine.
And based on your evaluation, you chose not to let Ms. Donovan participate in the rest of practice.
Yes, that is true. I thought it was my duty as a coach to sub her out, do that.
You kept Ms. Donovan out of the rest of practice because you thought it was in the best interest of her health, did you not?
Yes, that's why I did that.
Isn't it true you kept Ms. Despite what you observed at practice, isn't it true that you chose not to contact Ms. Donovan's father to report away his daughter?
Yes, I thought it was Mia's responsibility. She is above 14, and I thought that she was still her mom.
And despite what you observed at practice, you did not ask Ms. Donovan how she was feeling when she arrived at the college showcase from Friday, December 2nd.
No, I assumed that Mia would tell her that Miss Donovan would tell me if anything had happened.
And despite what you observed at practice, you allowed Ms. Donovan to participate in the college showcase game.
Yes, Mia really wanted to show what she was made of to the college scouts.
Isn't it true that you saw her teammate Megan during the first half of the game? You saw Ms. Donovan get involved in a collision with another player. Isn't that correct?
Yes, that is true. Her co-captain came up to me and said that I should check on her, so I did, and Mia seemed to be fine.
And isn't it true that her teammate Megan approached Ms. Donovan to check on her?
Yes, that is true.
And despite having seen the collision, you did not remove Ms. Donovan from the game. Isn't that correct?
No, Mia really wanted to show what she was made of to the college scouts. I knew that some of them were there just specifically for her.
Before the second half started, isn't it true that Megan approached you and said she thought you should remove Ms. Donovan from the game?
Yes, that is true.
You chose to ignore Megan's recommendation and allowed Ms. Donovan to continue to participate in the game. Is this correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And isn't it correct that barely 10 minutes after you chose to keep Ms. Donovan in the game, Ms. Donovan was tackled and hit her head on the ground?
Yes, soccer is a game where roughness is included when you sign up for it.
The force of the fall rendered Ms. Donovan unconscious. Did it not?
Yes, it did. She got removed and went to the hospital afterwards.
The last time you saw Ms. Donovan, she was being removed from the soccer field unconscious in the back of the ambulance. Isn't this true?
Yes, that is true.
After Ms. Donovan went away in the ambulance, you chose to look at her medical release form for the first time, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And is it correct that Ms. Donovan's mother was physically present at the game?
Yes.
For this reason, isn't it true that Ms. Donovan had someone there who could consent to her medical treatment?
Yes.
And did not need the medical release to authorize medical treatment for Ms. Donovan. Isn't this correct?
That is correct.
Isn't it true you reviewed the medical release to find out more about Ms. Donovan's health?
Yes, that is correct. I wanted to see if there was anything else.
When you reviewed this medical release, you saw that Ms. Donovan has suffered a concussion 7 months earlier. Isn't this correct?
Yes, that is correct. That's all I have.
Haven't you previously admitted that had you bothered to make yourself aware of this fact before the college showcase, you would have treated Ms. Donovan differently?
I would have treated her a little differently. I would have done special treatment. All the girls knew how to take care of themselves. I probably would have watched her a little bit more closely.
I have no further questions, sir.
Your Honor, the next would like to call Chris Durant to the stand. is your relationship to Brandon?
Me and Mia have been really good friends since we were in middle school. We ran track together, and ever since then we've been great friends. We always hang out with the people in our key club, and we go to the movies and stuff like that. So we've been really good friends since middle school.
And which class did you take?
We took honors pre-calculus together, AP chemistry, AP world history, and advanced personal fitness with Mr. Raleigh.
Would you please tell us more about advanced personal fitness?
It was a really fun class. With the heavy workload that we had, it was kind of like our off class. We had fun with it. We learned about nutrition and stuff like that. Mr. Raleigh's a really good teacher.
What is some of those subject material taught in advanced personal fitness?
He taught us how to stay healthy in the off season because there was a lot of athletes in the class. He taught us about nutrition, and he taught us about how to stay fit.
Did you learn about concussions in advanced personal fitness?
I don't necessarily think concussions were in the curriculum, but O'Reilly really stressed it. He wanted to make sure that all the students, especially the athletes, were aware of it because I think in the news in 2008 there was an extreme case where kids died. So we had a little under stress to us that concussions were pretty serious.
And after hearing Mrs. O'Reilly talk about concussions, would you say that you at least know the proper procedure for someone who may have had a concussion?
Definitely. He forced that information upon us. So, I mean, we knew pretty well about what concussions were about. So I thought we'd be able to be pretty knowledgeable about concussions in that class.
Did you interact with the plaintiff on Monday, November 20th, 2011?
I think that was our pre-calc exam.
And can you describe the plaintiff's behavior on Monday, November 28th, 2011?
Yeah, she came out. She was really pleased now she done the exam. She thought she did really well. I know she was nervous about it, so I was happy for her.
And can you please tell the court more about your schedule for the following day?
The following day, we had normal classes. I think we had AP chemistry together, and I think we had advanced personal fitness at 10 to 2.
And the plaintiff also had both these classes with you?
Yeah, we were in the class.
Describe the plaintiff's behavior in advanced personal fitness on Tuesday, November 29th, 2011.
Well, I definitely noticed a difference in Mia. She seemed like really groggy and like stressed and tired. I thought it was unusual because Mia's usually full of energy. She always comes up, gives me a hug before class, and we didn't really talk that day, so I thought it was really weird.
And would you consider these changes in Mia's behavior easily noticed?
Definitely. I mean, even for me, it was really noticed. I think other kids noticed it too.
Did you confront Mia about the changes in her behavior?
Yeah, after class, I was really concerned about Mia's health. So I went up to her and asked her what was wrong, and she told me that she thought she'd go and practice Tuesday and she might have a concussion. I got really concerned that she obviously saw my nervousness, so I told her she needed to tell someone, and she was like, no, you have to keep it a secret. You can't tell anybody. You know how high school girls are. And she was like, you can't tell anybody, but I was really concerned, and I thought she should tell someone.
Now, Chris, why did you tell anybody about Mia's possible concussion?
Well, O'Reilly told us that you needed to tell somebody if you had a concussion. I mean, I only know what Mia told me, but I told her she needed to tell somebody, but I thought she was going to.
And Chris, would you please tell the court why you are here today testifying against your friend Mia?
I know Mia's a smart girl, and I'm pretty sure she knew she had a concussion. So, although we're good friends, I don't necessarily think it was Rubicon's fault that she had a concussion. So, I think she needs to take responsibility for her actions, even though we're good friends. That was but I am.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Are you and Miss Donovan close friends?
Yeah, definitely. Great friends.
She did well in school before this concussion, correct?
Yeah.
She was doing so well, she was in the running to be a class valedictorian, correct?
I don't know if they necessarily put the rankings that way, but she was definitely up there.
Did you and Miss Donovan take classes instructed by Coach O'Reilly?
Yeah, like I said, we're advanced personal fitness together.
You were aware of Coach O'Reilly's emphasis on player health and preventing injuries, correct?
Yeah, he always put up sheets everywhere around the halls, and he gave us CDC handouts about concussions and everything, so we were pretty aware of concussions.
Had Miss Donovan ever told you that she received similar instructions from the Rubicon Soccer Club?
I think she said that they've had, I don't really remember actually her saying that, so she might have known. We didn't really talk about Rubicon as much.
So, no, she never told you she received similar instructions?
No, we didn't talk about Rubicon.
Before she was injured during the college showcase tournament, sorry, wrong question. As part of educating students about concussions, Coach O'Reilly has hung posters around your school educating about concussions, correct?
Yeah, he hung posts up, and he always talked to me about concussions because he
from what Coach O'Reilly taught you, you know that these are injuries to the brain and they disrupt a person's normal brain activity.
Yeah, but he taught us in advanced personal fitness class about how it can mess up your brain and stuff like that.
There are posters in your school stating all concussions are serious and that if you think you have suffered a concussion, you should notify them, right?
Yeah, you'd be able to always look at them and say that he was OCD about the posters because they were literally everywhere.
According to your direct testimony, isn't it true that Ms. Donovan specifically told you she thought that she may have suffered a concussion during the soccer practice on November 28th?
Yeah, and I did exactly what the poster said. I said she should let somebody know because the poster says if you have a concussion, you should let somebody know that she had a concussion. So you should let somebody know.
Did this conversation take place prior to the college showcase here?
I believe so, yeah.
Despite knowing Ms. Donovan thought she might have suffered a concussion and that all concussions are serious, you elected not to report what Ms. Donovan told you to anyone?
No, like I said earlier on the poster says if you have a concussion, you should report it. I don't know if he has a brother or father.
Despite knowing Ms. Donovan thought she might have suffered a concussion and that all concussions are serious, you elected to let her continue to hide it?
Well, I liked it.
Objection, absent answer.
The reason you chose not to report what Ms. Donovan told you was because attending college was important to her?
I mean, attending the college is important to every high school student. So, yeah, I guess you could say that.
You knew that without a soccer scholarship, it was unlikely that Ms. Donovan would be able to afford college.
Well, I know, Mia is pretty dramatic about college, but she always said she wanted a scholarship because she wanted to go to the top schools like Wake Forest, Duke, stuff like that.
If she reported that she would not be able to get into the college, if you reported that Ms. Donovan had suffered a concussion, she might not have been able to play at the college showcase tournament, correct?
Objection, speculation.
If one of your friends was going to participate in dangerous behavior, you would have stopped them, correct?
Objection, speculation.
Would you let a good friend participate in dangerous behavior?
What classifies as dangerous behavior?
Anything that might damage their own health or the health of others?
I mean, if we're gonna go do some like dangerous behavior, I don't know dangerous behavior.
Objection, relevance.
Okay. Would you let a good friend participate in dangerous behavior if you considered dangerous behavior hiding a concussion from an adult?
Oh, well, I don't know. The CDC forms say.
Objection, non-responsive.
No, I mean, we're teenagers, we're responsible for yourself, so she can do what she wants.
Then you would consider Ms. Donovan hiding a concussion not dangerous behavior, correct?
Objection, speculation.
Rephrase, how's that?
Okay. If you let Ms. Donovan hide her concussion, is this true that you would consider it not to be dangerous behavior? With you letting Ms. Donovan continue to hide her concussion from adults and others, you would say that you would not consider that dangerous behavior?
I said, well, if she's hiding the concussion, that's dangerous behavior on her part, not on me.
In light of her age and the injury she thought she suffered, you, a person who is of the same age, thought it was reasonable under the circumstances for Ms. Donovan to conclude that her injury should not be reported, correct?
Objection, argumentative.
I'm going to sustain if you'd like to rephrase.
Because you thought it reasonable to do so, isn't it true that you too chose not to report the possibility that Ms. Donovan chose not to report herself concussion to anyone?
I'm sorry, can you repeat it?
Because you thought it was reasonable to do so, isn't it true that you too chose not to report the possibility that Ms. Donovan had suffered a concussion to anyone?
Well, I'm an athlete too, and I knew if I was.
Objection, non-responsive. Because you thought it was reasonable to do so, isn't it true that you too chose not to report the possibility that Ms. Donovan had suffered a concussion to anyone?
No, because I'm an athlete too, if I had the symptoms, I would report it myself, not like if I'm good.
No further questions. And I would also ask to move around. Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen, fellow attorneys, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I thank you sincerely for your time. The work and effort you put into this is invaluable to us all. I'm Tucker Daniel, an attorney for the plaintiff. As a representative of the plaintiff, I'm here to ask for your verdict of guilty of the charge of negligence. To prove negligence, we, the plaintiff, are the carriers of the burden of proof. The elements involved with showing negligence are duty, breach of duty, and causation. To prove duty, we, the plaintiff, presented to you the testimonies of Dr. Bevan Register, an expert in sports medicine, and Coach Tobin O'Reilly, Miss Donovan's high school girls soccer coach. Dr. Register's testimony explained to us what she recommends for any soccer player to do as pertaining to head injuries, specifically concussions. Coach O'Reilly's testimony gave us an outstanding example of what a responsible coach is wary of. Coach O'Reilly was proactive and very careful when it came to an injury so serious as a concussion. She realized how dangerous and serious a concussion's impact is on a young mind and body, especially in a sport like girls soccer. Coach O'Reilly also pointed out that the CD was releasing public resources as early as 2008, and that these resources were easily accessible to anyone who might need them. She used these resources as much as she could. She hung posters around school and educated all of her students on these risks. Next, we were expected to prove breach of duty. The plaintiff did this by calling forth the testimony of Casey Donovan. Casey Donovan was a single parent dependent on Rubicon Soccer Club to not only let her child play sports, but to take care of her child and keep her safe. Rubicon Soccer Club was not even minimally responsible in taking on the safety of Mia Donovan. Mr. Donovan was not informed of any injuries after the practice on November 28th. And as stated in Shannon Dempsey's affidavit, I meant to call and check on her, but it was too late when I got home, and it slipped my mind the next day. This is blatant irresponsibility. Coach Dempsey was entrusted with the health of a young, promising girl, and after an injury serious enough to pull her from practice, she did not even call home to check on Miss Donovan, much less check for any more serious injuries. She didn't even tell Miss Donovan of Mia's hit. In the college showcase tournament, Miss Donovan was hit before the end of the first half. When she was hit, Coach Dempsey didn't pull her out of the game. One of the players on the team even went to her and told her that Mia should be pulled out, but this advice was ignored. If Mia had been taken out before that second and final blow, maybe she would not have been wheeled off that field in an ambulance, never to play soccer again. Even if Miss Donovan were to miraculously recover, the pride of her life, her senior year in high school, have been so suddenly ripped away from her, and any chances of affording college have gone down the drain. Finally, we proved through the testimony of Dr. Bevan Register causation. Dr. Register believes that Mia suffered one concussive injury on November 28, 2011, and two more at the college showcase tournament on December 2nd, 2011. Also, Dr. Register has told us of the debilitating effects these injuries still have on Mia today, over a year after the injury. And she believes that Mia Donovan will be plagued by these symptoms for the rest of her life. In conclusion, Mia Donovan was a very promising student and an amazing soccer player who had a lot of potential. But this potential was torn away from her by a soccer club too focused on winning to focus on keeping its players safe and healthy. Little to nothing was done along the lines of concussion awareness or treatment. We, the plaintiff, feel that our burden of proof has been overwhelmingly met, and that the defendant is well over 51% guilty of negligence in keeping its players safe. We ask that you find the defendant, Rubicon Soccer Club, guilty of the charge of negligence. Again, I thank you all for your time. It means so much to us. And the plaintiff rests.
Your Honor, members of the jury, I'd like to thank you for sitting and listening to the case today. You just heard the story of Mia Donovan, a 16-year-old girl who suffered an unfortunate concussion while playing soccer for the Rubicon Soccer Club. We are all deeply saddened by the horrible things Mia is faced with today because of her concussion. However, this of telling her coaches or her father that she was not feeling well, Mia made up excuses, that she was just tired or busy in school. Mia didn't tell Coach Dempsey that she was not feeling well, so Coach Dempsey went on to put Mia in the game, knowing how important a scholarship to college was for Mia. Don't be in doubt about whether or not Mia knew that she had a concussion. In fact, you just heard today from Chris Durea that she had told him that she thought she had a concussion. Today you also heard that Coach Dempsey, Joy Reddick, and other coaches at the Rubicon Soccer Club are highly trained and well experienced. Health and the safety of their players is a major priority. Sure, the club did not do much to give information on preventing and caring for concussions. That is only because of the huge prominence of other injuries, such as ACL, over concussions. The club did lots to raise awareness on these more prominent injuries. They didn't do it on ACL, and they didn't do it on concussions, because concussions are not common. This isn't football. Many of you probably watched the Super Bowl last weekend. If you did, you saw all the tackles and hits to the head that many of the football players took. It is in a game like this that you would expect to see concussions, not soccer. Today, you also heard that Casey failed to take his daughter back to the doctor for a follow-up visit after her first concussion. Thus, Mia was never given clearance to go back and play soccer. Casey also noticed that Mia was not acting the same the week before the college showcase game. And he never looked into it more. Just as the club and coaches have a duty to care for their players, which they did to the most of their ability, Mia Donovan had a duty to care for her own health and let people know so that they could help her. The applicable law in the New Caesarea Civil Code states that children 14 years and older have the maturity to be called liable for to be called negligent. By Mia not telling anyone of her symptoms and Casey not taking his daughter back for a follow-up visit displays the breach of duty on their part. The cause of Mia's current condition is Mia not telling Coach Dempsey that she was not feeling well, so Coach Dempsey could take her out of the game. Because of Mia and Casey's negligence, damages have occurred that will affect Mia for the rest of her life. These damages were not caused by Shana Dempsey, Jordan Reddick, or the Rubicon Soccer Club. In order for the defense to be called not liable, 51% of the blame must be put on the plaintiff. If you find that Mia and her party were just a tad bit more liable for what occurred to Mia, then we must call the defense not liable. When someone signs up for sport, they sign up for the risks that come along with it. Do we really want to live in a world where every time a player gets injured, they have to sue their sport facility?
Thank you. And I believe that concludes our presentation. My voters and I will need to go back and have our discussion. So we are going back and having our discussion as per the new rules. Each team is to pick out a star witness and a star attorney. Thank you for all your work. We'll see you back in just, what are we going to take, 5 more minutes? We'll give 10 minutes. All right, 10 minutes, which is, I don't have my glasses on, which is 25 after, right? Your judge is going to recite it. So 25 after, we will reconvene in here. Again, take a very deep breath. You all will prepare. This is informal. We're not calling us back into session or anything. No. This is informal. I'm going to make one brief comment, and then I'm going to hand it over to our scoring jurors, and they will introduce themselves. They don't introduce themselves beforehand, so you don't get freaked out that, you know, somebody who's a 25-year public defender and completely lose your mind. So they will introduce themselves. Now, the one thing I want to say is you all were absolutely prepared. My one general comment is own we are all guilty of it too. This is the pot calling the kettle black. Okay, understand? We all do this in front of judges and juries as well, is the, get my story out. Creating a more cohesive narrative of a story, own it, take a deep breath, present it with full confidence, okay? Otherwise, excellent. I'm so honored to be able to participate and see all the hard work you all have done. It is evident. On that note, general note, I will let our jurors introduce themselves and give you some constructive feedback as you move on.
Hi, my name is Vanessa Lucas. I am a partner with the law firm Edelstein and Payne, which is downtown Raleigh, not too far from here. I do some personal injury law, similar to what you guys were arguing today, although we don't have comparative negligence, we have contributory negligence, which makes things more difficult. But my real focus is on employment law, and I only work on the plaintiff side doing that. I thought you guys all knew the facts very, very well. I thought that compared to other years, it seemed like this was very fact intensive, lots of very complicated facts with the medical evidence and so forth, and I thought you guys did great. My kind of notes to help you this afternoon to think about is, you know, if you're doing that eye contact, keep doing it, it's great. If you're not doing the eye contact or you're so focused on what you're thinking about, just in your head be thinking, oh yes, I should be looking at the jury. So definitely that's important. We're told to score on that. So if you can keep that in mind in the afternoon. Like I said, a lot of times people were doing it great, and I could see it click in a head to do it if you weren't doing it. And otherwise, I'm really proud of all of you. When I was in high school, there's no way you could have gotten me out of bed on Saturday morning to do something that I didn't have to do. So I think that says a lot about all of your character, and that will help you succeed later.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Davis, and I manage a office here in Raleigh. I've been in practice on my own for 2.5 years. Prior to that, I worked here in Wake County as assistant district attorney for 6 years. This is my 3rd year participating in this competition, and I, will concur with both of them that you all did very well. Presentation is very important when it comes to these type of competitions, and when you present your case to jurors or whomever is in the courtroom. I think that eye contact is very important when you're on the witness stand speaking loudly. There were several
our last witness, we essentially listened to a teenager. I mean, we're listening to a teenager, but the witness himself was also a teenager. So it may throw you off, going, well, they're telling a story of a teenager, you can still cut them off. That's not just for that, that's just one example of the last thing that came to us. I think all of you a bit more tightening down, and it may just be that just like the race, such nice manners. So that's a compliment to the people behind the bench right now, behind that bar. That you've been raised entirely too well, you're entirely too polite, I think, in some of the competition. And I don't think many judges are going to tell you that. At least not in real life. That won't happen in real life. But I do appreciate professional courtesy on this level or on other levels. So I think that is all that we want to tell you. You do know it. You do know it. Thank you. You may adjourn, leave, do whatever you like.